there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for deciding to click on today's video. It is officially that time for the Best of Beauty 2018. So I'm going to share with you guys all of my favorite products this year. I will break down every single category and we will go through all of my favorite products. So if you guys want to hear what my top picks are for the year 2018, go ahead and keep on watching. In the order that I would normally do my makeup, we are first going to start out with my favorite primer of the year. This is from Origins. If you guys have been following me throughout here on my channel throughout the year, you will know that this is one of my favorite primers. This is the Origins Pore Perfecting Primer, and I absolutely love this guy. So it's actually like an aerosol can, and what it is you just squirt it out, and it's actually like a foam, and it will actually kind of disintegrate on your hand. But what I love about this primer is the formula of it is so different. First off, it's cooling, so it feels super refreshing on your skin, and also it's just like a silky smooth feeling when you apply it onto your skin, so it feels really, really hydrating, but it also fills your pores. Like, it has that little bit of siliconeness to it to where it fills your pores. But also with this, which a lot of times with silicone primers, I can't apply them like all over my face. I'll just have to go into my areas where I have my largest pores, but actually I can apply this one all over my face and I don't have any issue with my foundation slipping or sliding or anything like that. It is a little bit expensive, but I've had this one for literally almost the entire year and I'm still using it. So it's definitely got a lot of product in it and you get a lot of use. You only need a little bit. So that is definitely my favorite primer from this year. Moving on to foundation, I cannot believe I finally kicked out my Maybelline Matte and Poreless. I've been using that foundation forever and it has been my favorite so many years in a row, but I actually have a new favorite this year and it is from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way foundation, and I know you guys are probably like, this isn't a new foundation, but I'm telling you guys, I fell in love with this foundation in 2018 and it quickly became my favorite. I have been using it every single day. I've actually went through an entire, like 2 times, bought it and repurchased twice. So this is my 3rd bottle of it. So I know I absolutely love something when I actually repurchase it, because I am always constantly trying out new foundations and new primers and eyeshadow palettes and everything. So whenever I find myself repurchasing a product so quickly throughout the year, that means that it really was a favorite of mine. So this was a winner for me for sure. Anytime I repurchase, like I said, I know that it's going to be a favorite product of mine for a long time, because I really, really like the way this one looks on the skin. I just feel like it gives you a very natural look. It is a more medium to full coverage foundation, but I like how natural it looks. So like I was saying, it has just like a glowiness to your skin, and it's also not like too matte. It's more of like a satin finish, so I just really enjoy this one. And then hand in hand with that one, my favorite concealer was actually the Born This Way Multi-Sculpting, I think this is called the Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This one came out, I want to say about halfway through the year, and again, it quickly became one of my favorites. I'm actually running low on mine, so I'll have to repurchase it here soon. This has been a really, really great concealer. I feel like the applicator on this, I absolutely love. It has a larger applicator. I love how full coverage this is, but it also doesn't feel heavy on my under eyes. I compare this to the Tarte Shape Tape as far as like the actual like coverage you get with it. It's very full coverage, but it doesn't feel like as like heavy on the under eye as the Tarte Shape Tape does, and it's also easier to set. Sometimes with the Tarte Shape Tape, I feel like you have to kind of work it really fast and set it. I feel like this one doesn't dry up that quickly, and it also doesn't crease as bad on me as the Tarte one does. You get so much product in this bottle too. Like, this is literally like a foundation in itself, and this is about $28, so it is a little bit pricier, but you get so much product in here. It's literally like 2 concealers in one. And for powder, I found my favorite, my new Holy Grail powder, and I don't know if I will ever find something that is going to replace this, because it is drugstore. And the fact that I have a powder from the drugstore that has replaced my Laura Mercier, that has replaced my Cover FX, like so many of high-end powders that I've been buying and repurchasing, this is actually replaced in my collection. I still love the Laura Mercier, and I actually use it to carve out like my contour every single day, but this is what I use to set my under eyes. Another honorable mention before I talk about this one is the Colourpop No Filter. I did really enjoy that powder, and that's also affordable, so if you guys haven't checked out that one, I do think it's really good. But this one is so nice. So you can see I've used a ton out of mine. Like I don't know if you can really tell, but I almost have went through this entire thing. And this is the transparent Rimmel London Stay Matte Powder. What I love using this for is for baking on my under eyes. So I will apply a ton of this to my under eyes, and I just feel like my under eyes look so smooth when I use this. They don't crease a lot. There's no flashback with it. They just look really smooth, and you just kind of dust it away, and it's like you kind of look airbrushed in a way. And I believe this is right around $5, so you cannot beat the price on here. You also get a decent amount of product in here. Like I said, I've almost went through my entire thing, and I have used this religiously every single day for probably, I would say, about 3 or 4 months now. So for using it every single day and for the amount of powder that I use, I think that it is a great value, obviously, and it's really good. I also had a favorite powder this year from the drugstore. I had quite a few drugstore favorites this year, which makes me really happy because I always get excited being able to recommend more affordable products, and the fact that I have so many affordable favorites in 2018 makes me really happy. So the powder that I used this year, almost the entire year, is the Healthy Powder from CoverGirl. You can see that mine is pretty much gone, so I can't even really show you much about it, but this is called the Vitalist Healthy Powder. I use mine in the shade Classic Ivory. I actually think I need a little bit of a lighter shade if they have one lighter than this one, because this one's a little bit tan for me right now. This is such a good powder. I feel like it does a really good job of just like setting your entire face, but also giving you still not a powdery face. Sometimes when I apply like more powders and I can go really thick with the powder, I feel like it just looks really cakey really fast. This powder, I can apply so much to my face and I still feel like it doesn't look like I'm wearing powder. Like, it's so good. And it is about $11, I think $12, so it's a little bit more pricey for drugstore, but it is so worth it. I use it to set my entire face every single day. I do need to repurchase this one as soon as possible. I actually have one in my Ulta cart. I'm waiting to just go ahead and finalize my order. For bronzer, I just had one bronzer this year that I absolutely loved, and this one is from number 7, and this is the Golden Sands bronzer. You guys have heard me talk about this a bunch. I also did a video of my top 18 drugstore products of 2018, and if you guys want to check that out, I'll put it up in the card. I'll also link it down below. In there, I'm talking about all of my favorite drugstore products from the year, and a lot of those products made this video as well because they were just my favorite out of any products I tried. So this was in that video, and this is the number 7 Golden Sands bronzer. I have a large dent in mine. We are about to hit pan here. This is such a pretty bronzer, you guys, especially on more fair to medium skin tones. I actually think this looks really pretty on more deeper skin tones too, because in the summer I got pretty dark and I feel like this still looked really nice on me. It is a very buttery bronzer. It doesn't look powdery at all. Like, when you apply it on your skin, it just looks really natural. You can build it up. It doesn't look like muddy at all. This kind of reminds me of the Benefit Hoola, but I feel like with this one you can build it up a little bit more than Hoola. I think once you go in with Hoola, like, it's a little bit like you get a lot at once, so it's very pigmented. This one you have to kind of build up a little bit more, but once you have it on, it looks so natural on the skin. You get a nice mirror in the compact as well, and it's about $12, so really affordable. And then for the glow, for the highlight, I have 2 favorite highlights this year. So the first one is the Persona Caliglow in Zuma. This highlighter basically just like rocked my world. This is such an amazing highlight, you guys. It is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful on the skin, and the color just looks so nice on my complexion. I also wore it a lot in the summertime. It's just a very golden, beautiful highlight. I feel like with this one, it's very pigmented, so you don't need a ton, but it just like packs a punch right away. It looks so good, and this is a newer brand, so Persona, you can find them at Ulta. But I feel like for a newer brand coming out with a highlight that is so blinding and so amazing is just awesome, and I became obsessed with it this year. And then another favorite that I had was the Anastasia Amrezy highlights. I know they recently put this one back in stock, so if you haven't tried it out yet, I would recommend checking it out. It is such a gorgeous highlight. I feel like you can wear this on days when you want to glow super hard, and you can also wear this on days where you want to be more natural. It is a more blinding highlight, but I definitely feel like with this one, you can be a little bit more sheer. So I swatched that one right below the Caliglow one. So you can see that it's very similar, but it is a little bit lighter. It has more of like a champagne shift to it, but both of them are really pretty. I really couldn't choose between the two of them because I like them equally as much. And I just think that with highlights, these are the two that just kind of blew me out of the water and I couldn't put down the entire year. And then next up for blush, I don't have a set blush that was my favorite this year, but some of the favorite blushes that I was reaching for most often are from the Balm. And I feel like the Balm isn't really talked about that much. They did come out with bronzers that were super amazing this year as well. And I just feel like their blushes are so beautiful. They have a lot of matte blushes. This one is one of my favorites in particular. This one is called Balm Beach, and it's so pretty. They also have this shade here, which I wore a lot as well. This one is called Cabana Boy. It's a really nice kind of like mauve pink shade. They have so many really nice blushes. They really last all day on the face, and what I like about them is they are very pigmented, but they're not too pigmented. Like I feel like if you kind of tap off your brush, you can get a very light wash of color, and you can definitely build it up if you like more of a, you know, thick kind of blush look. I just think they're really good. I enjoy them a lot, and I have recommended the Balm a lot over the year because I feel like they have come out with a lot of really great products, and definitely their blushes were something that I was reaching for a ton. Okay, so I know you guys have been waiting to hear my favorite eyeshadow palettes from the year, and I think that these kind of might shock you maybe, but I actually have two that I wasn't expecting me to pick. There were a lot of eyeshadow palettes that I tried this year that I really liked, and I felt like there were so many eyeshadow palettes that I was always trying out a new one, like literally every single week. But when I sat down and like thought like which ones were my favorite, a few came to mind that I really liked and that I really felt like were awesome palettes and that I definitely wanted to recommend to you guys. But then like a couple of them, I like sat down and I was like, which ones did you constantly use though? Like which ones did you pick up, you know, 10, 15 times? Like which ones were you really using? So I picked the two that I feel like I used the most, which is actually one of the Jaclyn Hill Vault palettes. So this one is the Armed and Gorgeous palette. I know that these palettes have a very, I don't want to say like controversial, but they have a very difference in opinion. I feel like a lot of people like these palettes and a lot of people don't. I was one who loved these palettes. I think that they're really good, and this palette in particular has just been my favorite. You can tell mine's kind of beat up. I just used this one on Christmas. I use it all the time actually when I go in and I know exactly kind of what kind of look I like with this, but this shade right here, Coin, is absolutely gorgeous on the lid. Also the shade right here, VIP, is really nice on the inner corner. It's also a really nice brow bone highlight. You can wear it all over the lid. This is such a great palette. It's only 15 bucks and it's really nice. The quality is really good, and I don't have any issues with blending the shades. And when I sat down and thought about like what palettes, like I said, I use the most, that one I think was the one I used the most this year. Like I reach into that one all the time and I still use it all the time. And then another palette that I was reaching for a lot this year was the Perception palette. So this was one that came out in collaboration with Makeup Shayla from Colourpop, and you can tell that mine definitely looks used. This was a palette that I think is really well thought out. I really like the color selection in here, and although I feel like I would love a couple more mattes in here, I still feel like I reach into this palette a lot. I create looks with this a lot. I really enjoy this shade here, the one matte that I do really use a lot in this palette, but also all of these shimmers are so pretty. You have some blues, you have purples, there are this duochrome shade right here is really pretty. There are a lot of looks you can create with this palette, and I just feel like the formula of Colourpop shadows are so good. They're unbeatable for the price really. This palette I think is right around $22, $23, so it is really nice for as many shades as you get. You get a mirror in here. I think that mine's broken actually, but I think that this palette was one of the standout palettes this year for me, and like I said, I reached for it a bunch, so I wanted to make sure that I really recommended my favorite palettes this year are the ones that I constantly reached into, because like I said, there were so many palettes this year and it was really hard to sit down and pick which ones were really my favorite for the entire year. And then mascara, I do want to recommend my favorite mascara, and you guys have probably heard me talk about this a million times. You're probably overhearing about it, but my favorite one this year was from Rimmel London. This is the Wonderfully Real mascara. I love this guy. I use it every single day. I've went through 2 different tubes now, and it's so good. It's my favorite to wear when I'm not wearing falsies. I also really like applying it with my false lashes because I feel like it just does a good job of blending them. It's super black. It's my favorite for my lower lash line, actually, for my lower lashes. I just feel like it gives them such volume, and also it gives them really a lot of thickness. Like, I feel like my lower lashes have never looked better than when I use this mascara. I will say that is a little bit clumpy. I personally like that in my mascara, but if that's something that bothers you, then you might not like this one because it does tend to kind of clump up. You kind of just have to work through your lashes, but I don't mind that, and I actually kind of like it sometimes. So if you're someone who likes that sort of mascara, then definitely check this one out. I always say it is a perfect dupe for the Bad Gal Bang from Benefit, and it's right around $7–8, so it's definitely more affordable than that mascara from them. And then next up for brows, I have 3 different brow products that were my favorite this year that I am going to talk about. So the first one is from Colourpop, and this is their Brow Boss Gel. I became obsessed with this year. I use it every single day for my brows to set my brows and also to give them a little bit more shape. I was using the Benefit Gimme Brow for so long, and I didn't always love it. Like, I always kind of felt like I was missing something with that product. Like, I liked it, but it wasn't like a product I felt like I needed every single day. I'd apply it every once in a while. This has been something that I feel like I need in my brows. It keeps them in place. It also does a good job of shaping them. Like, if you go ahead and apply it in your brows, it has like a tiny little spoolie here, and you can just work it into your brows, and I feel like it actually like shapes your brows and keeps them in place. Like, you can apply a bunch of this, or you can apply a small amount. So if I were to want to kind of flick those up like that, they're gonna stay like that all day, which I feel like with the Gimme Brow from Benefit, they'll kind of seem like they'll stay like that a little bit, but then they will go down throughout the day. I'll notice this one, like, they lock in place. Like, as soon as you put this on your brows aren't going anywhere. They have it in a few different shades. I use the shade light brown for me. They do sell this at Ulta as well. And then also going along with that, I actually really like the Precision Brow Pencil from Colourpop as well. This one has been my favorite brow pencil that I've tried from Colourpop. They have another brow pencil, but this one really stood out to me this year. I also really enjoyed the CoverGirl brow pencil, but when I was deciding which one I really used more, I think that this was the one that I liked. The reason I like it is because it actually has a very tiny, precise little pen here, but what I like is you can actually use like the edge of the pen, I guess, if that makes sense. It's a very odd shaped pencil, and when I first got it, I was kind of a little bit like confused by it because it kind of almost seems a little bit square, like up in the actual tip of it. But what I like is you can actually kind of use that to your advantage when you are creating your brow strokes. I just think it makes it really easy to create those hair-like strokes with this, and it's super affordable at right around $6. I think you can't go wrong with this one. And then on the other hand, there is this one, which is the total opposite in price. I think this brow pencil is like $29. I think it's very pricey. This is from Dior, and this is called the Brow Styler. I use mine in the shade light brown, and you actually just twist it up, so it doesn't have a lid on here, so you're just gonna go ahead and twist it up to get the product out. Am I out of this right now? Because I'm gonna cry. I'm not. Okay, I was like, oh my god. So actually, here's what it looks like. And I know it doesn't seem like much. You're just like, oh, okay, it seems like a brow pencil with a spoolie. But this looks so nice on the brows. The reason I actually like it is for the front of my brows. So what I'll do is I'll go in with the Colourpop brow pencil for my entire brow. And then just right in the front, I'm going to use the Brow Styler from Dior to just kind of create like those hair-like strokes in the front. I just feel like it looks really natural. And every time I use this, I really like it for the front of my brow. Now, I don't love it for my entire brow because I feel like it is a more light product. So if you are using it on your entire brow, you kind of have to go in pretty heavy-handed to get it to kind of show up. So I don't love using it for my entire brow because I feel like I use too much product. But for the front of my brow, I think it's great. It does those really nice hair-like strokes, and because it is so like light, it looks more natural, and I do like that as opposed to going in with another brow pencil where I feel like I can get out of hand really quickly with the front of my brow. I think with this one, it always just looks so natural. So I think it's gonna last me a while because I do use it just for the front of my brow. I've had this one for a long time, but I definitely will repurchase it when I do run out. Even knowing it's expensive, I am a little bit extra when it comes to my brows. I like using the products I like using, and this is one that I think was really good, and it really helped me with kind of trying to map out my brows. Brows are not my thing. I do not like doing my brows. They're probably my least favorite thing that I do. So when it came to brow products this year, those were 3 that actually helped me, I feel like, achieve a better brow. We are going to talk about eyeliner up next. I have one favorite eyeliner to talk about, and this is from Doll 10. It is called the To The Point eyeliner, and I really like this one. So the reason I like it is it actually has 2 different sizes. So you have the defined side, which is the super small pencil, and then you also have, this side is called the line side. So this one's gonna be more for your wing. So it is a felt tip liner, and you actually just go in, and it's super precise. It's really black. It's what I have in my eyes right now. I like using the smaller one, the defined one, to get like right on your lash line if you are wearing false lashes. This one's really nice for that. Also for creating wings, I feel like this is perfect because you can go in with the larger pencil to kind of create the wing and then fill it in with the defined side, or you can also go in with either side, and I feel like I get a perfect wing every time I've been using this. It also has a little bit of weight to it, which I know seems weird, but it's kind of heavy, and I feel like that helps when I am doing my wings, because a lot of times if a pencil is too light, I feel like it doesn't give me like enough, I don't know, like enough weight. I feel like when it has weight, it's easier to apply my winged liner. I don't know if that's like a thing or if I'm making it up in my head, but I think that something about this just makes it really easy for me to do wing liner. And I also, again, don't love doing wing liner. I feel like I struggle with it, but this one makes it nice and easy for me. Okay, so up next, I have 3 different lip pencils to talk about, and then we'll go into my setting spray, and then we will be done. So first up, the lip liner that I absolutely loved this year was from Buxom. So this is the Plump Line Lip Liner in Hush Hush, and if you guys pay attention to my description box, you see me link this all of the time. I've used so much of this pencil. So what it is actually a larger lip pencil, and I just think it's so nice, and this is the perfect color. I'll show you guys the color. This is the perfect color to go with any nude. I love wearing this with like a more pale nude, with a deeper nude. It's just really nice, and because it is larger, I feel like it just makes it really easy to line your lips. And then on the other side, you have this little brush here, which actually comes in really handy when you're trying to blend your lipstick with your liner. I actually really appreciate the fact that it has that on here as well. And then for lip products, I have one favorite like liquid lipstick, you will say, from the year, and this one is from Physicians Formula, and it is the Healthy Lip. I love this formula. I have every single shade. I almost love every single shade. I've worn this lipstick probably more than any lipstick this year. So this is the Velvet Finish lipstick. So beautiful on the lips. I love the applicator. That's one of the reasons I enjoy this one so much, is because of the applicator. It has a bit of a bend to it, but this lipstick will stay put on your lips. It feels so comfortable, and it almost gives like a sheer color. Like you can tell how sheer that looks, but it's still really pigmented. You just need one layer of this and you will get pure pigmentation. There are so many different colors. This one here is one of my favorites. This one is called Vitamin Beat. This is the one that I probably use the most out of all of them. And then the last lip product is actually a gloss, and this is from Lancome. It is a bit pricey, but it is so worth it. So this is the Sweet Glow gloss, and I've almost went through, like you can tell how much I've used in this thing. Like it's missing a lot. I use this all the time. The applicator, again, is one of the reasons I love this, but it is just a nude gloss. You have an applicator that has a bit of a bend to it, which I enjoy, but here is what the gloss looks like. It's nothing special. It's literally a pink gloss, but it's so nice. It smells really nice, which I enjoy. It also isn't sticky at all. It doesn't get on my teeth, which sometimes I have trouble with glosses that kind of like goop and get on my teeth. This one doesn't do that. It just sits really pretty on the lips, and it also lasts a really long time for a gloss. I feel like the staying power of this is really nice. You can wear it on its own, or you can apply it over top of a liquid lipstick, or I apply it over lipstick. I've used this in so many different ways. And then last up, we're going to talk about my favorite setting spray, which I've talked about this a bunch here on my channel as well. This is the Morphe Setting Mist, and this one has been my favorite, and this has replaced my MAC Fix Plus, which I feel like has been a favorite of mine for so long. This one has definitely replaced that for setting my makeup. This is so good, you guys. The reason I love this so much is, one, the mister. I feel like the mister on it is so fine. You can just apply it literally all over your entire face, and you can apply so much of this, and it doesn't ever like get in your makeup. Like, you know how sometimes if you spray like Fix Plus or some other setting sprays, you can get like the little spots. I never get that with this. I just think it looks really nice on the skin. It makes your powders just melt into your skin. I feel like I use this probably 3 to 4 times like throughout the time of doing my makeup. Like I will apply my powders, spray. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my blush, my bronzer, everything. I'll spray again, and then I'll apply my lip, everything else, and I'll spray again. Like I use this so much. I went through, I think this is my 3rd one, and I kind of feel like I'm down there already because I spray so much of it, but it's so good I can't help it. I feel like the fact that it smells good also makes me want to spray it more because it smells good, the sprayer is fun to spray, and it actually melts into your skin. After talking about that, I think that is going to do it for my favorites in 2018. I know I was very rambly in this video, but I wanted to make sure I was able to share each and every single one of my products and kind of tell you guys why they were my favorites. But I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please comment down below what are your guys' favorites from the year 2018. I would love to know. Thank you guys so much for an incredible, amazing year. I cannot wait to see what we have planned for 2019. I hope you guys will stick around as I continue to make videos and continue to put out content for you guys. I love you so much. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, friends.